Welcome everyone. As we learn the Mishna Yomis for the first day of Shavuos, Zman Matan Toraseinu, and we learn today, sponsored by the Fisher family, Le'ilui Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shlomo ben Avram Alevi Perel Bas Ruvain, Le'ilui Nishmas Levi Yitzchak ben Meir Yaakov Moshe ben Zev L'Fur Shalem Fel Yom Moshe ben Chaya Sarah, sponsored also by Yoel Klugman and family. And also, I would like to dedicate this shir especially as on the first day of Shavuos, my father, Rabban Tzvi ben Rameya, Zichron L'Bracha, Susi Yogan Aleinu, had yahrzeit for his father, mother, 4 brothers, and 1 sister. They all passed away tragically on the first day of Shavuos in the second Seilusha transport that arrived in Auschwitz on the first day of Shavuos. They were taken off the cattle cars and sent straight to the gas chambers. So we learn that their neshama should have an aliyah, who I'm named after Meir, my grandfather Meir and his wife Gittel, and 4 sons and 1 daughter. Their neshama should have a great aliyah. They should be Malitze Yosher, Zeichet Tzadikim U'Kadoshim L'Bracha Schusam Yogan Aleinu. So now we are learning Mishnah Dalet and Mishnah Hey in Masechtas Yoma. Mishnah Dalet tells us, Kol Shivas Hayamim, during the 7 days that the Kohen Gadol was sequestered in the Lishkas Falhedrin, Lo Yamaynim Mimenu Machal Mishnah, they wouldn't refrain from giving him too much food and drink, but Erev Yom HaKippurim Im Chashecha, but Erev Yom Kippur before dark, normally a lot of people eat a lot, bolstering themselves for the fast, but they wouldn't allow him to eat too much because eating leads to sleep, and sleep would cause him to have maybe a nocturnal pollution, and that would render him unable to do the avodah. It wouldn't help to go to the mikveh because he would have to have erev shemesh. That would disqualify him from the avodah of Yom Kippur. The Kohen Gadol stayed up the entire night of Yom Kippur. Mishnah Hay tells us, Misaru ziknei bezdin l'ziknei kuna. Then the ziknei bezdin took leave and handed him over to the ziknei kuna, to the elders of kuna. Veheluhu la'aliyas Beis Avtinas, they brought him up to the attic of the Beis Avtinas who manufactured the Ketores, because they would go over with him the unique and very challenging procedure of doing the Ketores in the Kodesh Kodashim, where he would have to cup both hands and take the Ketores out of the shovel, and he had to do that either with his mouth or with his fingertips and not lose any of the Ketores. It's one of the hardest avodas in the Beis Hamikdash. Vishbi'u, and then they put him to an oath that he would not deviate, because the Tzedokim that didn't accept the oral law disagreed, and they said that the Ketores was supposed to be put on the coals outside of the Kodesh Kodashim, while we know that the Torah says clearly that the Ketores have to be put on the coals only in the Kodesh Kodashim. And since no one was allowed to be in the Kodesh and the Kodesh Kodashim, no one really knew what he would do, so they make him take an oath, and then v'nifteru v'holchu lahem. And then after they made him take an oath, they would take leave and depart from him, so they shouldn't see his embarrassment. V'amru lai, and they said to him, Ishi Kohen Gadol, Sir Kohen Gadol, Anu Shluchei Bezdin, we, Ziknei Kahuna, are agents of the Sanhedrin. V'ata Shlucheinu, you are our agents. The Ziknei Kahuna said, you are our agents. Ushliach Bezdin, and the agents of the Sanhedrin. Mashbian Anu Alecha, we put you to an oath. B'misha shikein shmoi babayis hazeh, and the oath is to the one whose name rests in this house, right? Rabbi Shalom's house, the Beis Hamikdash. Shaloi tishana davar, you should not deviate mikol ma'asher amarnu lecha, from all of the instructions which we went over with you. Now, who paresh ubaycha? He turns aside and cries that he was suspected. Ve'heim paresh ubaycha, and they turn aside and cry that they have to suspect him, and they ensured that he takes an oath that he wouldn't do like a Ma'aseh Tzedoki. Unfortunately, during the time of the Second Temple, where the office of the Kohen Gadol was bought by the highest bidder, many a time the Kohen Gadol did deviate, and they found him dead later on in an ashpa, in a dump, with maggots crawling out of his nose, because the nose was the first thing that entered unlawfully into the Kodesh Kodashim. We thank you very much for joining us. We want to remind you, if you're listening to this before Shavuos, that you should remember to make it Erev Tavshilin. Also, we want to remind you that if you would like to sponsor a share, 718-916-3100, RMMWSI at AOL.com. Also, if it's easier for some people where they might be, I loaded up already over 35 shiurim on YouTube, if it's easier for you to download from YouTube, so you may take advantage of it. And also, if you'd like to join my Zoom family of Daf Yomi and learn 2 blat this Motzoi Shabbos Motzoi Yom Tov at 10:15, go to zoomdaf.com. During the week this week, share will be at 8:45, Sunday through Thursday, again on New York time. And I want to wish everybody a good Yom Tov.